This project I have been waiting to do because of the cherry wood. And I can't go outside and spray paint it with shellac to block, any bleed through. And then I remembered I have my Paint Couture premium primer in white. So that means I can work on this, and I'm so excited. So the first thing I'm going to need to do is I'm going to need to remove this inner picture, which I don't like anyway. So, and this box is in beautiful condition. It really is so pretty. It's got that beautiful black velvet on the inside. So I'm just going to, they have it taped in here. So we're just gonna, it's a very pretty sunset picture, but it doesn't, to me, it doesn't go with this box. Whoopsie. Just keep banging into this darn tripod. All right, so what I'm going to end up doing is I am going to get a piece of very stiff cardboard, and I'm going to cut it to fit this at some point. But before I do any of that, I am going to need to give this a couple coats of my primer. Before I put any primer on this, I do want to wipe it down. I'm going to take a couple of antibacterial wipes, and I'm going to give it a good wipe down. Sometimes I'll bring in a little bucket of hot water with Dawn dish soap in it as well. You can do that. That works very well. But in this instance, it's not really too cruddy. So I'm just going to give it a good wipe down. So as I was cleaning this, guys, I knew that I wanted to protect this lining. And I just so happened to have this piece of cardboard sitting on my shelf. And look at it fits perfect. So that way I won't get any paint on my my material. And then I thought, I know there was a piece of glass in here, and I'll bet you that I have a frame from Dollar Tree that I could take the glass out of and replace it. So I pulled this frame out, and I'm going to see if this glass will fit, because I didn't measure the opening. I just want to see. Look at that, y'all. Perfect fit. Oh, I love when that happens. And what I'll do is I will put a dab of E6000 on the corners and a little bit of hot glue for the immediate hold while the E6000 dries. So I'll be able to replace the glass in there as well. So that's one of my little tips and tricks. I will buy frames from Dollar Tree just for the glass alone. Because how many times have we found beautiful picture frames at the thrift store that have no glass? So that's another little trick for you guys. All right, so I'm going to give this 2 coats. I can't even talk today, guys. Pardon my arm. I am going to give it 2 coats of Paint Couture Premium Plus 2-in-1 primer. Once that is dry, then we'll be able to put on our color that we choose. I wanted to show you guys, I decided I'm going to take some painter's tape and I'm going to I'm going to tape all along the outer edge of the inside of my box before I put down my cardboard, because the cardboard is like millimeters short on a couple of the sides. So I'm just going to tape it off so that if some of the paint does get underneath that cardboard, it'll go on the tape. We are ready for step 2 on this jewelry box makeover. I put 2 coats of my Paint Couture 2-in-1 primer. Now I'm ready for my base coat of paint. Now I'm going to go with my Rust-Oleum Chiffon Cream chalk paint because I am going to put this beautiful floral in here. And I think it will go beautifully with that. I do love this blue color. I don't have any paint that I could use to replicate that. I would have to mix it. And I really do think, though, that a neutral color would be my best bet. That way, the person that purchases it, because it's a neutral color, they could switch out, you know, the picture that's in there as well. So we are going to start painting our box. All right, moving on to the next step. I'm waiting for the jewelry box to dry. I put about 2.5 coats on the jewelry box. The half coat was just like touching up areas where it needed a little bit more paint. So I have taken the backer that goes inside the lid, and I have given it 2 coats of the same color, the Chiffon Cream. Because again, we need a light color under our decoupage paper. So this is the paper I'm going to use, and it's actually the perfect size to put on here. And this paper is by AB Studio. It's number 5354 for anyone who is interested. AB Studio 5354. This is beautiful. So I am going to, rather than decoupage, I am going to use my Elmer's glue stick, the purple. Actually, you know what? Yeah, I am. I'm going to use the glue stick. So I'm going to do half at a time. I want to make sure I get the edges well. Okay, now I'm going to line up my paper where I want it. Just want to make sure that it's straight. Okay, and then I'm going to do this side. And I don't have to put a top coat on top of the decoupage paper because it's going to be underneath glass and nobody's going to be fussing with it. So there's no need. I do have a brayer. Well, I didn't get it exactly straight, but you're not going to see all that anyways. That's going to be underneath the so you're not even going to see that. All right. Now we are, let me just cut this excess off up here, and then the rest I will sand off. Looks good. All right, we're now ready to put our glass in. which I did clean it, and now I just got it messed up again. We're going to put our glass in. And as I said, I am going to take, let me pop this back out again. I'm going to take a little bit of E6000. I'm going to put a dab in each of the corners to hold the glass in. And then I'm also going to put a little bit of hot glue. Whoops, let me grab a glue stick for immediate hold until it dries. All right, now we can press it into place. All right, and now we are going to put our picture in. I'm just brushing this off, guys. It got sanding dust on it from when I sanded the edges off. I think I'm gonna do it this way, I think. All right. There we go. Oh, how pretty is that? All right, now, before I do any sealing of my chalk paint, I am going to do a little bit of distressing just on the edges. And instead of doing sandpaper, I'm going to take a wet shop towel and do a wet distress on this. All right, all of the distressing is done. I have gone around the edges of the box and did some distressing. I did go in and I thought I did removed my piece of cardboard out of here, if I can get at it. Come on. Come on. Be nice. Oh, you. Lord have mercy. There we go. I got it. All right, let me blow this out of there. And then I will remove my tape. That worked out well. That worked out very well. All right. Well, I will wipe that off with a damp paper towel because look at my hands. That was very dumb of me to do that. But anyways, so now all we're going to do is seal in our chalk paint. And for that, I am just going to use some clear wax. And then I may use some dark wax as well. So basically, this is the clear wax that I use. You could purchase it at Home Depot. And I am just going to start to apply my wax. This project is going to come out amazing. I already can tell. I have had this tray in my stash for a little while. I thrifted it at Goodwill. And I have an amazing patriotic decoupage paper that I am going to put on here. Look at this, you guys. Oh, this is fantastic. So what I'm going to do is I am going to paint this rim in red chalk paint. Then I will come down here and I'm going to paint this inner rim in Rust-Oleum linen white chalk paint, because I have to have a white background to make my decoupage paper stand out. So rather than have you watch me paint, I am going to just paint this off camera. All right, we are all painted. Now I do have to do another coat of red around here. And I'm not real worried about this area because I am going to end up putting some molds on here, some trim. So, the next thing I'm going to do is I am going to flip my tray over. Here, let me zoom out. And I'm going to take my paper. And as you could see, oh, I forgot, I have this one too. I have two of those. I am going to take my paper and I'm going to go around the outer edge of where I need to cut my paper. And I'm going to crease it with my fingernail. It's almost a perfect fit. It may be a little short on the ends. I've got it creased, as you could see. You could see it better on this side. Okay. So now I'm just going to cut it out. Okay, so I will get this exactly where it needs to be. I will have to fill in up at the top, which I knew I was going to have to. Some. But that's okay. I can do a paint blend with that. But yeah, I think this is going to look fantastic when it's finished. Now I'm going to get my liquid patina and a brush. And I'm just going to do a section at a time. I'll start up here. And we shall do a starter strip, as it's called. Because you have to get all the way to the edge, but as I said, then it gets up on here, and it's very hard to get that off. So I'm spraying my paper. Going to lay it down, and I'm going to take my plastic bag. Trying to get the least amount of wrinkles as possible. And I'm going to start over here. Definitely helps to do, I think, the sides first. I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to trim off as much of this extra paper as I can, just right here, because I don't want it to hinder my molds when I put them on top. So then this will be ready for some molds. I will put the molds on before I do a second coat on here. Well, actually, no. I think I will put my third coat, not a second coat, my third coat of red on here. And then I will decide what trim I'm going to put on here. Okay, so I did put a second coat of red, or a third coat of red on here. I'm not real happy with the way the red turned out, but I am going to antique it, so I'm hoping that will cover up some of the blotchiness. But anyways, I decided to get my scraps of this decoupage paper and cut out some pieces to fill in these areas. I have this area here, here, and here. So I did go and I cut out some pieces here, and I'm just going to grab my liquid patina and I'm going to put them on. Get a small, I just need a small brush. I'm just going to squeeze some out on my counter. dip my brush into it and spread it out there. And then I'm going to grab my piece. Wrong way. Wrong way. Oh, for goodness sakes. Hold on, guys. Okay, so that will help with that. I also wanted to mention that I did go over this whole entire image with my liquid patina to seal it in. I didn't show it, but I just wanted you to be aware. You always have to seal your decoupage paper. Now we could seal that in. There we go. I'm also going to put a coat of the liquid patina on my red paint as well to seal that in. All right, guys, I'm waiting for my last coat of red paint to dry on my tray. I have already molded several of these molds here, but I'm just going to do one more to show you guys how I do my molds. This is the IOD Trimmings 2 mold, and all we're going to do is we're going to dust whichever mold we want to use with some cornstarch. The cornstarch helps to release the clay from the mold. And then we're going to take our clay. I roll it into a snake. And then I go ahead and I press it down into my mold. Any place that I need a little bit more clay, I just take the scraps and put them in there. Okay, then we're just gonna turn it over and it pops right out. All right, so my red paint has dried. I have already taken my molds and dry fit them around here to make sure that I had enough cast. So now, normally I would paint these before I put them on, but I don't want these to dry too much because then I won't be able to bend them the way I need to. So I'm going to put them on before I paint them. And I'm going to grab my brush here and spread my glue out. All right, so I'm going to turn it over and I'm going to start right here. I want to be sure that I cover the edge. I'm going to come over slightly over the edge of the rim. And I'm gently pressing down to make sure that everything is adhered to my surface. I just wanted to mention that I think I misspoke on the previous clip. I did not wait for the molds to dry before I painted them. I painted them while they were wet, just to be clear on that. So what I did is I finished gluing all of my molds on, and then I took this Folk Art Pure Gold metallic paint, and I did 2 coats on my molds. And then I went back through with my red paint to touch up any place that I got the gold paint on the red. I had thought about perhaps painting the rim here white. But you know what? I think I'm going to leave it just the way it is. Sometimes less is more. So this last project is a very quick and simple project. I bought 2 of these wood rounds at Dollar Tree, and I printed this beautiful picture off of the Graphics Fairy. I just printed it on regular copy paper. So I am going to attach this beautiful picture on here. But first, I want to paint this outer part of my wood round. And for that, I'm using Folk Art chalk paint in the color Barely Pink. I want to bring out the beautiful shades of pink in here of these cherry blossoms. So let me just grab my paintbrush here, and we're gonna probably have to do 2 coats. We'll see how it comes out once we let the first coat dry. I will get it painted, and then I will hit it with my blow dryer to speed up the drying process, and then we'll find out if we're going to need another coat. We are all painted. I painted the back as well. Because this is such a light color wood, I don't have to paint this white. And also, I am not using decoupage or rice paper. I am just using copy paper. So we won't have a problem with this looking muddy or dull. So I'm just gonna measure out whereabouts I want this. I have to, it actually matches like perfectly. And then I'll just have a tiny bit to sand off over here on the edges. So I am gonna put this on with a glue stick. I have better luck with a glue stick when I print something on copy paper. It just sticks better. With the Mod Podge, you really have to use quite a bit. And I find that the glue stick just works better all the way around. Take my brayer and run over it. I have a string on it because I had it hanging up on a hook. Okay, now we'll do this end. All right, now I am going to sand off my excess paper, going in a downward motion. Look at how pretty that is. Now you can, depending on how you want to display this, you can put a sawtooth hanger on the back. You could drill a couple holes in here and feed some wire through and hang it like that. You could take ribbon and you could staple it to the back with a staple gun. And hang it by a ribbon. It all depends on what look you're going for. But this is just a quick way to make some Easter decor with a wood round from the Dollar Tree and a free printable graphic from the Graphics Fairy. So I've taken the liberty of making another one. Same process. Painted this in Paint Couture French Rose, and then I adhered this on with my Elmer's Purple School Glue. But I want to take these to the next level, and there's a very easy way to do that if you love an old vintage look. And the way we're going to do that is we're going to do a crackle effect. Now, I have done this in a previous video, but I just love doing this. I love the results. So what I'm going to be using today is Paint Couture crackle effect. There's 2 steps, step 1 and step 2. And what we're going to do is we're going to shake step 1 up. And we are going to apply this over the top of our images. Then we have to let it dry for at least 30 minutes until it's tacky. So let me get a brush. Take it off the lid, actually. And I'm going to brush this all over my image. So actually, I won't have to seal these with anything because I'm using the crackle medium. All right, so I just want to make sure that it's evened out. And then we're going to do this one as well. Make sure I get all the way to the edges with it. You don't want to overwork it. If you put a thin coat, you'll get thin crackles. If you put a thicker coat, you will get thicker cracks. All right, we're going to let this dry. Then we're going to come back and put on step 2. All right, it is time for step 2. If I could get the lid off. Ugh. All right, pop. You'll see step 2 is quite a bit thicker than step 1, as I did mention in my last video when I used this. Okay, now I am going to run my blow dryer over this to speed up the process. And then I will show you the magic. All right, guys. So I don't know why, but every time you put a top coat over decoupage, look what happens. I get these wrinkles. Anyways, we have our crackles on there, but they're not going to show up until we put some dark wax on here. So let me grab my wax. I don't want to get it on the edges because I haven't sealed that yet. I have to seal it with some clear wax first. And then I will put some dark wax on my painted areas. Always want to seal your chalk paint unless it has a sealer built in. And if you want to use a dark wax, you always want to put a layer of clear wax down first, and then your dark wax. That way you can wipe your dark wax back much easier. So now I'm going to go around the edges with some clear wax, and then I'm going to put a coat of dark wax as well.